Paulo Perante Festo, substitute of Felix. When Festus entered the province, after 3 days he went up from Caesarea to Jerusalem. And the chief priests and the most eminent Jews, he complained against Paul and, to his detriment, they begged him to send him to Jerusalem, setting him up to kill him on the way. But Festus answered that Paul was being held at Caesarea, and that he himself would soon go there. Therefore, he said to the authorities among you, "Come down with me. If there is any crime in this man, accuse him." Having delayed among them no more than 8 or 10 days, he went down to Caesarea. And the next day, if in the court, he had Paul brought. When he had appeared, the Jews who had come down from Jerusalem surrounded him, bringing against him many grave charges, which they could not prove. But Paul answered in his defense, "Neither against the law of the Jews, nor against the temple, nor against Caesar, I have sinned in nothing." Nevertheless Festus, willing to please the Jews, answered Paul, and said, "Thou wilt go up to Jerusalem, and there be judged before me about these things?" But Paul said, "I stand before the judgment seat of Caesar, where I must be tried. I have done no evil to the Jews, as you well know. If therefore I am an evildoer and have committed something worthy of death, I do not refuse to die. But if there is nothing of what they accuse me of, no one can give me to them. I appeal to Caesar." Then Festus, having spoken with the council, answered, "You appeal to Caesar. For Caesar you will go." After a few days, King Agrippa and Berenice came to Caesarea on a visit to Festus. And as if they were delayed there many days, Festus exposed to the king the case of Paul, saying, "There is a certain man here who was left in prison by Felix, concerning which when I was in Jerusalem the chief priests and elders of the Jews made me complaints, asking judgment against him. To which I replied that it is not the custom of the Romans to condemn any man without the accused having his accusers present, his accused." By the time they had gathered here, without delaying, the next day I sat down in court and had the man brought in. Against which the accusers, rising up, they did not present any accusation of the perverse things that I suspected. They had, however, against him some questions about his religion and about a dead Jesus, which Paul claimed to be alive. And when I was perplexed as to how to investigate these things, I asked if I would not go to Jerusalem and there be judged in relation to them. But appealing to Paul to be reserved for the judgment of the emperor, I commanded him to be arrested, until he sent him to Caesar. Then Agrippa said to Festus, "I would have liked to hear this man." And he said to him, "Tomorrow you will hear."